Shock. Ji Hyun Woo made Lee Se-hee cry and walk away into the night. What really happened? What could have possibly unfolded between these two stars to end in tears and silence under the cover of night? Witnesses were left stunned as Lee Se-hee, visibly emotional, walked away alone after a tense encounter with Ji Hyun Woo. Was it a misunderstanding, a clash of emotions, or something more? Join Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover the truth and explore what really happened behind this heartbreaking scene. Right now, what could have possibly happened between two of Korea's most admired stars to end in such a heartbreaking scene? Witnesses were stunned, cameras captured the moment, and fans were left with one burning question: what really unfolded that night when Lee Se-hee was seen in tears, walking away into the darkness after a tense exchange with Ji Hyun Woo? It was a chilly evening on the set of their much-anticipated drama. A quiet night when the lights of the cameras were off, but the tension was anything but. The air felt unusually heavy even before anything happened. Staff members whispered that the atmosphere between the two lead actors had been growing colder for days. Still, no one could have predicted what came next. According to multiple sources on set, the two had been engaged in what started as a private conversation behind one of the trailers. A witness described seeing Ji Hyun Woo standing close to her, his voice low but firm, his hands clenched at his sides. At first, Lee Se-hee appeared calm, listening quietly. But then her eyes began to shine with unshed tears, her lips trembling as she tried to respond. The argument escalated, their voices rising just enough for others nearby to hear sharp words, though the exact sentences remain unclear. Everyone froze, one crew member later said. Could feel the tension in the air. No one dared to move. Moments later, Lee Se-hee turned away abruptly, her hands covering her face as tears began to fall. She walked quickly toward the edge of the set, ignoring the calls of the staff and leaving Ji Hyun Woo standing there, staring after her with an expression that witnesses described as unreadable. Some saw guilt, others frustration, and a few even thought they glimpsed regret. It didn't take long for someone to pull out a phone. Within hours, blurry videos and grainy photographs flooded the internet, showing Lee Se-hee in a long coat, her shoulders shaking as she disappeared into the night, Ji Hyun Woo still standing frozen in place. Social media erupted. Hashtags like #Hyun Woo Se-hee clash, #what happened tonight, and #Se-hee tears trended within minutes. Fans around the world demanded answers. What did he say to make her cry like that? Is this the end of their friendship? Was it a personal fight or something about the drama? While their agencies scrambled to respond, online forums became hotbeds of speculation. Some fans argued it was merely a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. Others insisted this was the culmination of weeks of tension everyone had noticed. Meanwhile, others pointed out that this was not the first time cracks had appeared. Observers dug up past interviews where both had given vague answers about their working relationship, and behind-the-scenes clips where their smiles seemed a little strained. That night, the set fell silent. The cameras stopped rolling, the crew tiptoed around, unsure of what to say. Hyun Woo reportedly remained there for a long time after she left, staring out into the distance. A staff member described him later sitting alone in his car, leaning forward with his head in his hands. For fans who had idolized them as a perfect on-screen couple and possibly more, the sight of her tear-streaked face and his motionless stance was nothing short of shattering. It was a moment that exposed the fragile humanity behind the polished facade of celebrity. Theories multiplied with every hour. Is it jealousy? Professional disagreement? A personal betrayal? Some claimed she discovered a hidden truth that night. Others speculated he delivered a harsh truth she wasn't prepared to hear. One fan summarized the collective anxiety: whatever it was, it broke her heart. You can see it in her eyes. As the sun rose the next morning, neither Ji Hyun Woo nor Lee Se-hee had made a statement. The world was watching, and waiting. In the days that followed, stars went silent. No interviews, no Instagram posts, no sightings. Fans camped outside the studio, hoping for a glimpse. Reporters hounded staff for information. Even the agency's vague responses, "Please respect their privacy." This was a personal matter, did little to quell the storm. Then, just when the frenzy threatened to boil over, Ji Hyun Woo appeared at a press conference for an unrelated project. Reporters immediately pounced. Asking about the incident, he looked somber but composed as he answered, "It was a misunderstanding. I regret that it happened so publicly." When asked if he and Lee Say-hee had resolved things, paused for a long moment before replying, "We are talking. I hope people can give us space to work through it." Lee Say-hee's statement came later that evening. To her Instagram story, "That night was emotional and painful. I need time to reflect. Please understand." The statements only deepened the mystery. Fans dissected every word, every pause, every comma. Talking and reflecting suggested the matter was far from resolved. While insiders began leaking possible explanations. One claimed the two had grown close during filming and that night's argument stemmed from personal feelings, perhaps jealousy or disappointment. Another suggested the conflict was strictly professional, a disagreement over a scene or a creative choice that spiraled out of control. Whatever the truth, it was clear this wasn't just a minor squabble. Those who knew them described a bond that had once been warm, now iced over. You could tell something had been building up. Crew member confided. That night, it finally exploded. In an industry where image is everything, the sight of Lee Say-hee crying openly and walking away into the dark shook people. Fans, however, rallied behind her. Social media was flooded with messages of support. "Stay strong, Say-hee, we believe in you. Whatever it was, you deserve better." Hyun, too, had his defenders. "We all have bad nights," one fan wrote. "Don't judge him until you know the whole story." As days turned into weeks, the two gradually resumed work. Photographers captured them arriving separately at set, avoiding each other's gaze but remaining professional. During a group interview, their chairs were placed on opposite ends of the table. Yet something remarkable happened at an award ceremony a month later. Both were nominated for Best Drama Actor and Actress, and both attended. When her name was called, Say-hee walked to the stage, elegant and poised. Her eyes briefly met his as she passed by. And just a second, his expression softened. Hers flickered with something unreadable, pain, perhaps, or something more complicated. Later, when Hyun won his award, he stood before the microphone and paused before speaking. "Thank you to everyone who stood by me. And to those I hurt. I'm sorry." The room fell silent, then erupted in applause. That night, rumors swirled that the two had been seen talking quietly backstage. A journalist even claimed they left the venue at the same time, though no photos surfaced to confirm it. Perhaps that's the nature of moments like these, they leave behind more questions than answers. Fans continued to debate what truly happened that night under the stars, and whether the two have made peace. In the end, the story of Hyun and Lee Say-hee became more than just a viral scandal. It became a testament to how fragile and human even the brightest stars can be. In an industry built on perfection, that night revealed something real: pain, misunderstanding, vulnerability. And perhaps, in the quiet that followed, forgiveness. As one fan wrote in a viral post that summed up the sentiments of thousands. "I never know what happened that night, but we do know this: they are human, and we still wish them both the best." Weeks after that unforgettable night, the noise began to quiet. The hashtags stopped trending, the cameras moved on to the next scandal, and the whispers faded into memory. For those who had witnessed it, on set, online, in their hearts, the image of Lee Say-hee's tear-streaked face and Hyunwoo's frozen silhouette remained vivid. They both returned to work eventually, stepping back into the spotlight with measured smiles and professional poise. The world never got a definitive answer about what truly transpired, and perhaps that was for the best. Some stories are too personal to belong to anyone but those who live them. At another red carpet weeks later, they passed each other, and for a fleeting second their eyes met. No cameras caught what passed between them in that moment, whether it was forgiveness, regret, or simply acceptance. But those close enough to see said there was no malice, only the quiet understanding of two people who had walked through fire and learned something about themselves, and each other. For the fans who had loved them, as actors, possible lovers, as flawed human beings, this was more than a scandal. It was a reminder that even the brightest stars stumble, even the strongest hearts break, and yet, under the weight of it all, they still stood. Silence that followed, the world finally let them breathe. Whatever happened that night will always remain theirs alone. Maybe that's exactly how it should